Team, welcome to podcast number 3 for those that are listening on audio. Although Tim doesn't want us to stick the video up, we might stick this on YouTube. Neither of us have done our hair. So, if you want to have a look at how we look on a Friday afternoon, then feel free to check this out on YouTube. But podcast number 3. Today we're going to kind of be talking about our measurability of everything that we do. And we know that in our CrossFit programming, we essentially want everything to be measurable. And that's how we look at improving your fitness and hopefully therefore health overall. At Beyond Walls, we add in your in-body scan on top of that. So I've got Tim today. Afternoon.
Afternoon, Barry.
Afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. First podcast you've ever done?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've only done 3, so I'm not exactly experienced at them as well. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your background, who you are, where you come from, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, in terms of, I'm Tim. Fitness-wise, I've been here for about 15 months. Before that, I did some weightlifting for a few years, and then before that was quite sedentary.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time. I mean, my kind of hobbies and interests are a lot of kind of gaming, so video games, board games. I used to, over the pandemic, play a lot of video games and eat a lot of pizza and generally just get slightly large.
Yeah.
The last few years have been kind of a bit of a turning point and improving my health that way. But yeah.
Cool. You've always been into video games, so it's kind of a lifestyle that you always had.
Massive gamer.
Yeah.
Fitness, I used to do taekwondo. So
any games in particular?
I mean, won't touch it now. World of Warcraft. Big MMA gamer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a hard habit to shake.
Yeah, I bet it is.
But yeah, I quite enjoy modelling, miniature games, things like that. So
still playing now?
Yeah. Playing Baldur's Gate.
Okay, cool.
So
I know nothing about
D&D.
No, I do know D&D, but not those games specifically. Tell us a little bit about what made you kind of walk into Beyond Walls. How did you hear about us? What made you want to join?
Yeah, previous gym we were at, I was there with a few of the guys who come here now. We were very much enjoying the weightlifting side of things. I think a few of the way they structured their kind of workouts, they do an 8-12 week block, and they'd have the different coaches kind of plan those.
Yeah.
And we had kind of a back-to-back one where I think a couple of the coaches hailed from like a CrossFit background. We were kind of enjoying the extra bit of cardio that was coming in with the weightlifting. And then they moved on to kind of brighter futures. And we thought, we quite like that. Maybe we should do something ourselves. But there wasn't too much around here. But at the same time, we saw a lot of posts coming up from yourselves over on Instagram and thought, maybe this is the right thing. So,
did you see us when we were out on the field? When we'd opened?
I think I saw some of your stories.
Yeah.
You out in the field, kind of showing
what it would
the place being built
like.
And how it was going.
Yeah.
And then it was. I think for us, we had a bit of a long clause to kind of leave the previous gym. So by the time we got in, it was November time, and you guys had really opened the inside up, and it was looking great. So yeah, dove straight in.
Awesome. Who were the other people that you kind of knew?
Ali and Amy initially.
Okay.
Kind of core 7-6 o'clock group, and there's a few others as well. Wayne, our resident coffee
guy
expertise.
Shout out to Coffee Connection in Maidenhead.
And then Paul and Charlotte Burke.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I saw that she's signed up to the Open. So no excuse. What is she? 6-7 months pregnant now?
I think it's about 6 weeks now.
Is it? Oh wow!
Few dates, so
that's a risk.
Just squeeze the workout in.
So if you're not yet signed up for the Open, you've got someone that is getting close to the full term by the time the Open is finished. No excuses whatsoever. So awesome. Now, when you started with us, I mean, you kind of mentioned that you weren't in the best shape. Do you want to kind of like talk about who that version was, version of you?
I think when I started at Beyond Walls, I was definitely in a better shape than I was. A couple of years before that, I hadn't touched a weight in my life, hadn't been into a commercial gym or kind of smaller gyms.
Yeah.
But I'd had a couple of years under my belt, I think, of weightlifting at that point, kind of strength and conditioning, a little bit of cardio, but not much.
Yep.
And I felt like I was strong, but I didn't have the fitness that I felt that I had back when I did martial arts.
Hmm.
Kind of where you're a bit more explosive, energetic. You've got that flexibility.
The
Um,
combination of being able to like apply your fitness to
yeah,
something.
yeah, I could
Yeah,
pick things up
yeah,
a few
yeah,
times a day, but I kind of wanted a bit more of an active
yeah.
day to day.
No, cool. And so your primary goal when you joined was get a bit fitter.
Yeah,
What about like those aesthetic aspects that we measure on that in-body scan? Did you have a particular focus when you wanted to
I
join?
think weight loss more than anything. I
Yeah,
think I was about 95 kilos.
I got the
But
data here. I just like pulled it up. But yeah, you were actually even further back because you've done so many scans.
I have
Uh,
done a few too many
you had
scans.
done. So November 2024
Yes,
was your first ever one.
about
Uh,
2 weeks after I joined, I think.
yeah, 95 kilos is what you're at. So yeah,
Yeah, and I think I say over the last 4 or 5 years, I think I've probably lost a load of physical body fat and then put on the muscle as well. So I've always been in the 90s range.
yeah.
I mean, before the pandemic, I was about 72 kilos. So
What would you kind of deem like a, a fighting weight for you to be, like a healthy weight for you to be?
I'd like to sit in the kind of low to mid 80s.
Yeah,
I think that's about 84, 85 kilos is kind of a sweet spot where I'm feeling strong and I feel lighter, like myself previously.
yeah,
I'll never get back to, I think, where I was before weightlifting, just because I've got more muscle now.
yeah, yeah. And you feel functionally fitter
Yeah,
as a result.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So what we'll kind of start with, if you don't mind me kind of like talking through your in-body scans. I mean, it's incredible results, which is why I wanted to get you on today. But we kind of talk through, first of all, some of those improvements that you've made, big you up a little bit with those things because they are impressive results. But then kind of like talk about how does that make you feel, why it was important for you to measure. Also, might
Yeah,
indicate to people why potentially body weight might not give as much information on their measurements, and then also talk about the other ways in which you might have measured your progress in your journey with us as well. So,
great.
in-body scan, like you said, you started at 95.1. I'm not going to go through every single scan, but kilos of body weight, 95.1, muscle tissue, about 40 kilos, and then body fat mass, 24.6. If we go to one of our other most important metrics, which is that visceral fat number, you had a red score of 10. And then we kind of like fast forward. Uh, when was your most recent? End of Jan?
Yes,
Or post Christmas time?
yeah,
Visceral fat's down to 7. So now a green result, super healthy. Weight down 7 kilos, 88.7. But your muscle mass is actually higher than when you started with us. So just over 41 kilos, classified as high, and body fat mass down to 17, essentially. So you've seen a huge drop in that body fat mass over time. Now, if I just bring up a comparison of your first ever one to the one today, we can then actually look at how much we have lost over that time. So 7 kilos of body fat mass. Will it actually show me weight? Yes, 6 kilos of weight loss. So actually the weight loss picture doesn't tell you the true story in
yeah,
that way because you added the muscle mass at the same time too. But went from kind of 80 points to 89. So some really impressive results over that time as well. And I think you
thank
would
you.
also detest that it hasn't always just gone up throughout that journey as well. Um, have there been times where you've kind of gone, I've lost focus a little bit and then I need to refocus? And how have you managed to kind of do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think well, a lot of us experience it, but
Yeah.
as the nights grow longer and winter draws in, I think yeah, my focus dipped a little bit. Really great to be focused in the summertime.
Mm,
Um, yeah, you can do a lot in the day when you know the day's a long day. Um, but yeah, going into winter, I think a lot of it dropped off. I think if you were to look at my in-body score probably previous to that one, I'm probably a bit closer to where I was at the start,
Okay.
just with a slightly, I guess, better mindset and better direction,
Yeah.
and kind of
You're still up in your muscle mass. Muscle mass is higher, but I see what you mean. Like in the last month or so, you've lost like
yeah,
a 3 kilos of
yeah.
body fat, or
Started to shed the Christmas parties again.
yeah. But I think that's an important message to give to people, though, is that we don't want it to just be a constant linear progress where you are only ever burning body fat for the rest of your life, or only ever gaining muscle mass for the rest of your life, because essentially you get to the point where either you're having to make such dramatic commitments
Yeah.
to doing that that it can then affect your social life, your relationships. Like I know full well that if I was hanging out with my family at Christmas time and they basically go, here's your Christmas dinner. And I'm like, it just doesn't look lean enough. I'm gonna
Yeah.
like take this out, take this out. My mum would kill me. Like that is definitely not something I want to be doing at Christmas time. So I enjoy the cheese, the crackers, and all those other things, knowing that yes, you might drop off for 30 days, but actually you're right. When the sun starts coming out a bit more, you start to pick up the pace with it and focus on it. And I suppose having something like the InBody scanner shows you how much did you regress
Mm,
because of Christmas time or whenever you eat, Easter because of the chocolates, whatever it might be, but then be able to guide you as to whether you're getting back on track as you move forward as well. So,
absolutely.
yeah. Do you feel like there were any particular challenges for you over that Christmas time?
Um,
Or was it just
I
sheer
think I think I
quantity of
think just
food?
life, and
Yeah.
just the addition of a lot more events and things. There's good opportunities to eat and drink and have a bit of a laugh with everyone.
Yeah.
And I think just enjoy those while you can. Really,
Yeah. So just the social activity that
yeah,
comes with that as
nothing
well.
nothing wrong with that. I think I've come out the other side with I guess a better strategy than I had
Yeah.
this time last year.
Yeah. And I think one of the most effective parts of us running a gym like this in a way is that this becomes the social aspect for
Mm,
a large part of people's lives.
massively.
And so you then stop hanging out with people at the pub, you end up hanging out with them at the gym instead, in which case you're making a better lifestyle choice anyway. You might get addicted to protein shakes instead of
The knockos in between.
instead of beer. Or yeah, drink too much caffeine because of the knockos. But yeah, you definitely end up socializing at the gym more, which I suppose, although we're biased, in a way makes us more effective than a David Lloyd's, a Pure Gym, etc., because they don't necessarily carry those social aspects as well. Is there any
Mm.
part of that has helped you kind of achieve what you've achieved on your InBody scanner? Do you feel like it's had an impact
Um,
on you?
Maybe not so much on the InBody scanner. I think just from a kind of a welfare and well-being thing, really, and training when I train, which is quite often 6 o'clock in the morning, having kind of that coffee morning afterwards,
Yeah.
about half hour, 40 minutes, maybe a bit longer than we should, kind of sat around having a coffee and chatting about life in the universe. So
Yeah.
yeah, that definitely helps kind of put you in a good frame of mind going into the working day, really.
Yeah, awesome. So moving away from kind of your InBody scanner and to how your progress has developed in the gym.
Mm.
Talk me through some of the changes, kind of off the top of your head, I suppose, with your gymnastics, your weightlifting, your fitness overall. How has that changed as a result of what you've done?
Yeah, I think what was it? I was over the summertime. I was trying to explain it, and I was using AI to kind of do kind of you get that web diagram,
Yeah, yeah,
and I kind of plotted in the different points from what you might expect from a CrossFitter,
yeah.
and you can see when I started, I was very much the web was angled very much into the I can lift heavy weights and that's about it.
Hmm.
And now it feels like that's almost regressed, but everything else is kind of splayed out a bit more. So I know I can um, do things for a bit longer, a bit harder. My gymnastics definitely has
Developed more.
developed more.
What
I was
in
getting to
particular?
I was getting to handstand walk at the weekend, which was
Oh,
quite
amazing.
nice. I actually managed to hold myself and have a couple of steps, and you, it was, I guess, that point where you know you're not just up on your hands and falling over, you're up on your hands and you can find that stability and you can take those steps. So yeah, gymnastics wise, that's certainly improved. I mean, I didn't know what a toaster bar was when I came into this gym, and that's one of my favourite movements now. I know, I think I said to you, one of my things I wanted to do when I first joined was, oh, that muscle up looks quite cool.
Yeah.
I can definitely get to that. And then you get very quickly humbled in a place like this because everything takes a lot of practice. But yeah,
No, it's cool. We actually have your first ever workout. I just had it in front of me.
my goodness.
Yeah. It'd be interesting for you to like repeat it really and see where you go. But as many rounds as possible, 13 minutes, 40 double unders, 20 alternating pistols, 10 deadlifts. Your score is your rounds plus your reps. You didn't make any notes on this though. You put that you scaled the workout, that you did an 80, looks like 80 kilo deadlift there rather than an 85.
Yeah,
Would you have had double unders at that time?
absolutely not.
No, so probably single unders.
And I still didn't have pistols. So
Still didn't have pistols, so maybe some lunges or box pistols or ring assisted pistols of those. But yeah, we got deadlifts, 5 reps at 130. Do you know what your deadlift is now?
I did 5 at 150 the other week.
Awesome. Then we got a 1 rep max there. Do you know what your 1 rep max is now?
What's that, my deadlift?
Looks like deadlift.
That is the best deadlift I've done in this
Is it
game.
182.5?
So, I mean, it seems like that, right? The pure strength for like the 1 rep maxes, I've definitely lost that
Yeah.
in some respects, but
I've managed to
gained,
maintain it if you're about
yeah,
the same.
I've gained so much everywhere else though, which is I guess the main thing of why I wanted to join. I wanted to
Yeah.
kind of improve my all round fitness rather than just kind of be pigeonholed into one.
Yeah, this is cool to look through where you can look at kind of people's history. And here we've got an AMRAP in 20 minutes. This is Nate, quite a famous CrossFit workout. 2 muscle ups, 4 handstand push ups, 8 kettlebell swings. I feel like that's a workout you could probably
I
hit.
like the sound of that workout.
Yeah, you could probably hit RX now.
Yeah.
But back in 13th of January 2025, you had to scale to kipping burpees with a kipping pull-up, 1 to 2 kipping handstand push-ups with a negative. So you did have a few, and then a 16 kilo kettlebell on your swings. So yeah, definitely feel like you'd progress in that. So I think the reason that I kind of like bring this up, and one, we celebrate the success that you've had with how you've progressed, particularly in your gymnastics and your fitness, as you mentioned. But 2, having an app like Push Press where you can showcase your data, come back and look back on where you were and potentially retest, like
Yeah.
go back and do the Nate workout, which you did 11 rounds scaled. And I mean, like, if you then change those to muscle ups and 4 handstand push ups and you get anywhere near that score, that's going to be such an amazing improvement over that time. Without you logging your scores and looking at this data, you'd have to be going by pure guesswork more than anything else. So is there anything else that you kind of use your, other than obviously the obvious of booking into your classes and all that kind of stuff? Do you log anything else score wise on your Push Press app that's outside of the classes, or is it pretty much just following?
I mean, it's pretty much following the classes. I mean, it's quite useful looking at your benchmarks on there. I know, rather than just by class, it also consolidates it and shows your benchmarking. So I can see what my squat is in a 3 rep or a 1 rep max. So I know what I can push overhead. Like those are still recorded, and I'll add into those occasionally, but more often than not, that's kind of pulled through from a workout.
Yeah.
But I mean, it collates and it can show me kind of the bigger picture, I guess, in terms of progression.
And
which is nice.
With both the InBody scanner and the Push Press app, I mean, you might not necessarily look back on the history of your weightlifting, your gymnastics, etc., just like we've just done there. But does it make you feel motivated that, okay, maybe the program does work, my nutrition is supporting my exercise? Does it kind of like motivate you in that way?
I think with the app, certainly it's good to kind of see where you are. Obviously, there's a few of us that are, I'd say, semi-competitive with each other, and it's always quite funny to see kind of where we all fall within certain
Certain
aspects.
workout.
Yeah, there's certainly like Paddy and Tom, for example. There's a good like triangle there of, oh, we know that one of us can do something a little better than the other, who can beat the other person there, and there's always one or two of us who know, I guess, where you expect to fall, not
Yeah.
necessarily where you fall, just kind of where you expect to fall in amongst the wider community, really.
And would you use that almost as like you've had a win for that day? Because again, let's say for yourself, it's more of a 1 rep max day, but you sit higher in the leaderboard than you would have expected. Do you see that as a motivator for you?
I think that's always quite interesting. I mean, I don't really want to use it as a way to see who I beat. It's oh, I expect that. Knowing who I might train with and who trains throughout the day,
Yeah.
where you kind of fit in with the wider community, and
Yeah.
seeing you kind of surpass your expectations a little bit, it's always quite interesting.
Yeah. Okay. And so something like gymnastics for yourself, if it's a high skilled gymnastics workout, you would typically expect yourself to kind of sit a little bit higher or not really?
I think for me, it's given me a nice grindy chipper.
Okay.
So nothing too complex.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a move or two that might catch somebody out, but yeah, put me on something that I can kind of keep getting on with. I tend to do quite well. Once you start to add a bit too much weight or a bit too much gymnastics complexity, that's where I see myself falter or kind of
Okay.
fall behind some other
So
people.
let's lead on to that. What would your ideal workout be?
As well, as I said before, some toaster bar in there would be
Yeah.
good. I think a timed chipper rather than an AMRAP.
Okay.
Some large volume of toaster bar, a lift of some kind, but more repetition rather than heavy weight.
Yeah.
Like it's like the snatches we did today are that was some heavy snatching. I'd much rather do a lighter set of cleans
Okay. I
at
see.
higher volume.
So it sounds like you're getting something like 15 to 20 toes to bar into 10 to 15 front squats, 4 rounds a time,
That is definitely a bit of me.
something like
Just
that.
let me put my head down and grind it out,
Yeah.
but make it slightly heavier.
A light front squat though,
Then
not a heavy one.
yeah, or 60 kilos.
Okay, not that light then.
That'd be all right.
No, awesome. So the kind of, I suppose, moving away from the in-body, the push press up, the other things that you have immersed yourself in, and I know you're working with Meg now for PT.
Yes.
You've also worked with her in the past to guide you through some of those nutritional changes as well. As nutrition was the first thing that you kind of invested in and invested your time into. How did you find that? How beneficial was that? What were the kind of like big takeaways for you? Excuse the pun, takeaways. What did you get out of the nutrition that you still really kind of incorporate today?
Well, it was a strange one because I think when I went to do nutrition with Meg, I'd already done a lot of the work in terms of trying to kind of lower my calories a bit and try and lose the weight.
Yeah.
That wasn't why I joined Meg to kind of do nutrition with her. It was more, I know I can lose weight. I now need to know how to perform better at the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah, she really guided me through in terms of what I should be eating and when. You know, make sure you've got enough carbohydrates and energy to do your workout. And for me, that means I've got to eat a lot more in the morning, eat a lot after the workout. And actually, I mean, a third of the food I'm supposed to eat is probably eaten by 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Most days now. Whereas before, maybe I would not really have a sensible amount of food until lunchtime and eat a lot more in the evening when
So we're
normally it's
actually
not
kind of
helping you out.
we're talking about like fueling your training
Yeah.
intentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I think I was aware of, but I wasn't aware of how significant a change it was, and kind of the macronutrients and having more fat in the mornings to kind of keep yourself satiated, so you're not kind of reaching for the extra snacks as much.
So is that an old habit that you would have had?
I used to snack a lot.
Yeah.
I used to come back from work and go, right, where's the chocolate? Let's
Okay.
put a hand in there. And I mean, definitely that was happening up towards Christmas last year, which is why I could see in my scans things were changing. But it's about kind of the little wins, I guess, and
Yeah.
the consistencies. And it's not it's not a habit now. It's just I've had a bit of a rough day. Maybe I'll falter a little bit rather than, oh right, where's the biscuits in?
Yeah. You become more aware of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, over time.
Yeah.
So you kind of reached out to her, did a little bit of one-to-one work. How long did you do that for?
We did a 3-month thing, so it was kind
Yeah.
of a weekly check-in with her.
Yeah.
Just to see how things were going. It was, I think, we're doing 2 weekly like
Check-ins.
check-ins,
Yeah.
like photos and weighs as well.
How often would you do your in-body scan on top of that?
I think I was doing it about every 4 to 6 weeks at
Okay.
that point, because
So kind of a start, a mid,
yeah,
and end.
because everything was kind of pointing the right way, right? The scales were going down. I was still eating. I was eating more and more.
Yeah.
Upsetting a few people in because I'm like, how are you still losing so much and eating so much?
Yeah.
Yeah. We found a really good sweet spot.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it was the photos as well. So I could see kind of when I started working with Meg to where I was towards the end, kind of how my body composition was changing as well.
Yeah.
So even though the scales were certainly showing different things, kind of going in a downward progress, you could physically see that actually my muscle composition was changing a lot, which was
Yeah.
that was really, really cool.
And your body, your in-body, sorry, kind of backed that up.
Yeah, it did.
essentially.
It did.
Yeah.
I mean, weirdly, I think the change in muscle wasn't that significant.
Yeah.
So if you looked
But
at
you're
it
just
from,
leaning out, essentially.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you look at it from not just leaning out, because I was adding muscle on parts of the body where I didn't have it. So I think again, you can see there my best deadlift score was when I started at the gym.
Yeah.
And that's because I mean I'm quite stout. I'm almost shaped a little pyramid like.
Yeah.
So I'm quite strong at the bottom, a bit weaker at the top. But through the training with Meg and fueling a bit better, that leveled out a bit, and I wasn't as stout as I was.
I think so there were two things I was going to pick up. Number one, I'll come back to that. It'll come back to me in a minute. So second thing, with your deadlift number, you weighed 95 when you started.
Yeah.
If you're deadlifting the same now at, what are you now, 87?
About 87.
87.
Yeah.
Pound for pound, you're stronger.
Oh, yeah.
If you're able to still lift the same weight, we know that obviously weight classes in things like snatch, clean, and jerk are there for a reason.
Yeah.
So I think you're a little bit unfair on yourself to say that I haven't got strong with those.
I always tend to be.
The direct number might not have changed, but the fact that you've got lighter and you can still lift the same is, really impressive.
Yeah.
When it comes to that as well.
I've learned not to obsess over that kind of stuff. I'll use my little AI helper to say, oh, this is what I've done recently. And get that reassurance, because we know AI can be a little biased towards yourself anyway. But that little reassurance to say, look at all the other progress you've made.
Yeah. The first thing that I was going to come to was your story about your nutrition. I don't think it's uncommon for people to, in a way, like step in through our door and almost be underfueling their training. We spoke about it on the first podcast, and Meg and I spoke through that people often do two things when they want to change their health and fitness, which is join a gym and change their nutrition. And often the two don't really align because they think I'm going to burn more calories and eat less calories and end up actually under eating. So it's quite interesting to hear that for you to maintain your muscle mass and grow it a little bit throughout that year and a half, but lose a lot of body fat, you've been essentially eating potentially more food than you ever were before, but the difference is that it's the right kind of food rather than chocolate digestives that we've got in the kitchen at the moment and those kind of things. Oh, mini eggs.
Easter's rolled round.
Is that what your go-to would be?
I love a mini egg.
Do you know, Becky said to me yesterday about us making cornflake cakes for Florence. I love a chocolate cornflake cake. That would be my downfall with the mini eggs on top. Call them the nests. Call them whatever you want.
They are.
They're so good.
They're a staple.
And now you've been kind of moving on from the nutrition side. You've been working with Meg for PT.
Yes, yeah, trying to
Any
develop
particular
my
focuses?
gymnastics mainly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, as I say before, it's one of those ones where I'm not I'm not incapable. I just don't feel strong. Not that I don't feel strong. It's I don't have the confidence to kind of do everything every time.
yeah,
So it's kind of developing that consistency, I think, in the movements that I'm kind of looking for. And yeah,
yeah.
it's quite nice having Meg there to kind of guide me a bit because she knows me well enough now that she knows kind of my quirks, if you will.
Can you share some of them?
But it's like well, it's weird things like we're doing handstand practice in the gym the other day, just in a class, and doing it as a class is very different to doing it on your own. I feel like when I'm doing stuff I'm less comfortable with, my personal bubble kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you become more aware of what you're doing around people.
Yeah,
It's like today where we're doing snatches and double unders. You sit there and try and do a snatch, and you've got someone doing double unders in front of you. You go, "Oh, what if I fall forwards and drop it?" So you start to be aware of that rather than just do your movement.
yeah,
So I think, yeah, having that PT gives at least it gives me that space to kind of go, okay, I can just worry about myself now and stop worrying about how what I do, good or
affects
bad,
other
affects other
people.
people in the gym.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like particularly if you were to apply that then to an external competition or something like that, you
Mm.
don't want to be worrying about what the guy's doing in the lane next to you.
No.
You just got to do your job to the best of your ability. And
Yeah.
then there's definitely a mindset piece to that as well, where if you are constantly comparing, it's kind of going back to the leaderboard. Like if you constantly look at the leaderboard and that's your only motivation because all it is you're looking at other people and what other people are doing,
Mm.
you have absolutely no idea on what those people's stories are. You know, it could be that somebody's had a 3 or 4 of your like close friends have had a really heavy weekend.
Mm.
They come in on Monday and train, and you're top of the leaderboard in that group. And you give yourself some false feedback to go, I am absolutely flying. I'm so fit at the moment, not realizing that the other 3 are still hungover
Yeah.
because all you're doing is comparing yourself to them. So definitely going, and like you've already said today, you know whereabouts you should be,
Mm.
and that already shows that you're able to like control your own lane and understand exactly where you are
Yeah.
in terms of your own fitness as well. Where would you feel like your holes up? Where are you kind of looking to like improve yourself moving forward? You already said consistency, obviously, with your gymnastics.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think some of the Olympic lifts,
Okay.
really. So, yeah, as I say, very comfortable in the grunt work. And running is one of my big faults. I used to do loads of running.
Yeah.
Again, that used to be the way I stayed fit. Um, but yeah, I think just old injuries and severe lack of stretching. I know I need to get better on
Okay.
that. Yeah, running's definitely one of my weaker areas.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, add a bit more weight to my lifts, a bit more meters on my runs.
Hmm.
You know, get the repetitions and stay on the bar a bit longer in the gymnastics, and I think that will definitely improve where I am because the day-to-day grind, if you will, like the burpees over bar and things like that, I'm quite comfortable with. That's my wheelhouse. Just get down and dirty with
Yeah.
the short, extended movements rather than the longer things.
How are you with a shuttle run?
That's running.
That's running.
That's running.
They're
I,
gonna
to be
they're gonna
fair,
come up in
to
the
be
open.
fair,
I'm
I'm
telling.
I'm a better sprinter than I am a runner.
Okay, I
Maybe,
wouldn't sprint them though.
maybe yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, give me a shorter distance.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'd
feels
probably,
better.
yeah. So shuttle runs, I'm definitely better.
Yeah,
It's just those extended
depends
periods.
how long it takes for you to turn around, I suppose.
I'm
Don't give yourself too
okay at
much
that.
rest.
I'll pirouette.
Yeah, okay, fine. That kind of leads us onto the open. So the whole point of this kind of season for us, not only at Beyond Walls but other CrossFit gyms around the world, will be the open coming up in 2 weeks from the date that we're recording it. We'll have our first Friday night lights. Are you going to do Friday, Saturday?
I'll be
Not
at
sure yet.
both, I think, but
We both
I don't know which.
don't train on both.
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't know which one I'll train on, but I think I'll be
Yeah.
at both. I mean, again, I'm a morning gymmer, so
Yeah.
training in the evening after being at work, I don't know if it will
So it might be
be
that
on
you
top
do
form.
regular class on a Friday morning potentially, or would you take that off?
Yeah, probably do a regular
Yeah.
class on Friday morning, then go into Saturday morning,
Yeah.
or if not, it'll be a case of save myself for the Friday night, and
Yeah.
yeah, then you can have a cheeky beer afterwards.
Yeah, potentially so. So yeah, it's like coming back to that kind of social aspect as well for you.
Absolutely.
Then it's going
Yeah.
to be hanging out on a Friday night, then on Saturday. Do you feel like you'll be here for the early heats on the Saturday and then pretty much stay the day?
Yeah, early or at least a couple in if I'm not doing the
Yeah.
heats themselves, because it's last year I think the biggest thing for me, and the bit where I think I felt really drawn into the community was the Open.
Yeah.
Made a lot of kind of friends quickly there, I guess, because
Hmm.
it's a shared experience.
Yeah.
I the term trauma bonding isn't quite right, but you know, you kind of it's high adrenaline, high stakes in some respects. A place where you push yourself, and that's I think where relationships grow quite well.
Yeah. Do you have
Um,
any highlights from last year? Last year was your first year?
Last year was my
Yeah.
first Chester bar, first wall walk. Yeah, a lot of firsts. First double
Amazing.
unders.
Cool.
So yeah, definitely walked in kind of going, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, should I go RX? Should I not? So yeah, being convinced to just kind of get in and get my hands dirty was yeah the best thing.
And do you remember your percentile on your app?
Not off the top of my head.
No.
I
Yeah.
remember, I think was it on the after the second workout? I think I remember walking in and being told you could win it in the gym, and I go, what? What do you mean? Um, and I think yeah, I'd done well enough in the first one, and kind of muddled through on the second one that if I had a good third workout, I could have done very
Done
well.
really
But
well.
that was my worst workout.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, well, snatches, lots of
Yeah.
weightlifting. It's yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't quite ready for that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It was very early in your journey, so
Yeah.
yeah, so like I suppose the next part of the story is that you'll have your percentile from last year.
Mm.
The goal is to try and improve on that for this year. Percentile is a great way to do it, just purely on if there's more participants, which there is this year. Where most recent numbers are like close to 110,000 participants this year, which is kind of double last year, if not more than double last year. But by having a percentile, you know, kind of roughly where you sit in comparison to that cohort. So, you know, goal for you is to look to try and improve that percentile, and you definitely sound like you have a lot more of the higher gymnastic skills in order
Yeah,
to hit those RX workouts. Did you RX every workout last year?
I did. I
Yeah.
did. I mean, I think it was. I can't remember if it was the second or third workout. I think muscle ups were in it, and I looked at it and went, "Well, I'll get about 60% of the way through this, and then that'll be the end of my workout."
Yeah.
Whereas now I think I can look at any workout and say, "Okay, I can try and muddle through." My toolbox, yeah, has a lot more in it than I think it did last year,
Yeah.
which is yeah exciting.
For anyone that's still kind of on the fence of getting involved at the Open, I mean, we're up to 117. It's got Helen to sign up this morning.
Oh, nice.
So 117. Anyone that's still on the fence, kind of, how would you describe the Open from your experiences last year to get involved?
I mean, camaraderie is a word I'd probably use for it. Like it, you kind of you turn up, you get really involved. Everyone gets really involved with you. I think your limits get pushed by both yourself because you feel you get dragged along with the energy.
Yeah.
And then yeah, everyone is there just supporting you. I mean, even the judges. I think I had both Jono and Meg at one point as my judges, and I really remember that experience because they were there just pushing me past my limit.
Yeah.
Not because they were cracking the whip or anything, but you know, just that extra encouragement with that energy in that atmosphere is really cool.
Yeah.
But if you want to, I guess, surprise yourself, I think definitely do the Open.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like community is definitely one of the biggest things, isn't it, with that kind of event? And I mean, if everybody turns up on Saturday morning, we could be doing the whole day, really. Yeah, it'd be cool to have people do a bit of both, whether they just go and cheer on the Friday night lights, take part in the Saturday, or vice versa. They're more of an evening trainer, evening person. So that's cool, but definitely get involved if you're not already signed up. How long have we been going? Nearly 40 minutes. So let's kind of wrap up. One thing I wanted to kind of like finish with is, do you have a particular goal that you're focused on at the moment? Anything that you would think of as a measurable, this is one thing that I would really like to improve on, whether that is a movement, a nutrition goal, an aesthetic goal, anything like that.
To be fair, there's probably quite a few to choose from. I'm trying to.
So you do have a few.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. As I say, I think my biggest thing at the moment is just getting those gymnastic movements a bit more coordinated, put
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Because I know I can do things. It's just a case of being able to do things consistently.
Yeah.
It's that kind of that small win of just consistency. I think is massive.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So if we take one particular movement, what would that movement be?
well, bar muscle up for me at the moment is something I'm working on quite a lot with Meg.
Okay. So
So it's linking those together.
we've got the specificity of the bar muscle up. Now we want to try and essentially make it measurable and attainable. How many repetitions are you looking for? Like, how are you going to see a tangible improvement? So is it a measure in your technique, number of repetitions you can do unbroken, those kind of things?
I think it's a mix with it. I think part of me wants to know I can 99% of the time be successful in just doing the one.
Okay.
So it's knowing that the movement is there and I know how to do the movement effectively, even
Yeah.
under fatigue. And then kind of, I guess, a subset of that is being able to chain 2 or 3 together. Obviously, the more I can, the better, and that obviously comes with conditioning. But yeah, it's being able to do them more frequently and more consistently than I can now.
Okay, cool. Does it still sound realistic? Yes. Time bound? What would you put as a time frame on it?
I don't know. I think the consistency I think is almost there. It's just the repeatability of it. I'd like to by the summer be able to do a number of reps consistently and be able to do that. And I think that's probably achievable in the time I have currently put aside for it with Meg.
Yeah.
Alongside the other bits of fun we're having.
No, awesome.
Learning how to handstand more.
All the other stuff that comes with it as
Yeah.
well. So the reason that I like kind of throw that to you is one thing that I wanted to let our members know was obviously they can have the chats in the in-body scans as part of their athlete check-ins. We've got things like the open that will highlight holes in their fitness, as you've kind of identified that that's kind of a bit of a hole in yours.
Yes.
Although quite high skill, but everybody's going to be at different levels. I think if I was to like strip that back into kind of a SMART goal, what I would encourage you to do, probably outside of Meg sessions, is look at how am I measuring this at the moment. So maybe do like an EMOM every minute on the minute. Can you do either 1 bar muscle up? I'm not 100% sure where you're at with that, but either 1 or 2 bar muscle ups, and you might count total volume. So say you do a 10-minute EMOM. If you hit every single one, that would be 20 total repetitions. So then we have a number. We have like 20 muscle ups in 10 minutes is what I can do. Now, if you manage all 20, we actually need to push the goal. We need to try 3 every minute instead. So total could be 30. Let's assume you hit 21 repetitions. You fail a few along the way in that 10-minute EMOM. Then when I come back to test that, say 12 weeks later, I'm going to do my EMOM, 3 repetitions every minute. If you've gone from 21 reps to 27 repetitions, you've improved your consistency over time. I'm not saying that you have to do that, but it gives you a prime example of like how we could then essentially test, train. You're working with Meg really hard on developing those things.
Yeah.
Even if you just attended classes, I'm sure those things would grow, but potentially over a longer span of time. It might not be 12 weeks, it might be 24 weeks, 36 weeks. But then you have a retest. And I think that's one thing that's really important to remember is that if you are trying to pursue a goal of some form, you've got to test yourself at some point, just like you did with your deadlift. You know that your deadlift is the same because you tested it then. You've tested it recently. You know that roughly that information's the same. You've got to do the same for your gymnastics. I can do the same for my gran if she's doing her air squats. How many times can you sit down, stand up before you give up? Like everything should be essentially measurable, and repeatable and testable, and that's kind of what we want
Yeah.
people to achieve. So for you guys listening, if you're members here, like that's what your in-body scan's going to help you do. Not only is it just your scan, and you don't actually even have to do the scan if you don't want to. You can sit down and just talk through training. But particularly after the open, I mean, I'd love to sit down with you again and look at your open data and go, right, where were your holes?
Yeah.
Was it still in the weightlifting aspects, or actually was it more in the gymnastics? And yeah, kind of identify what can we test? How are you going to develop that? I.e., what classes can I go to? Can I work with someone one-to-one or in a group setting? And then let's retest that at the end. And that's something that we can provide for you and the other members as well, as part of your athlete check-ins and your appointments. Cool. Any questions for me?
Are you looking
You
forward to
can
the
say
open?
no.
I'll
Yeah,
say, yeah.
yeah.
What are your weaknesses you see coming up for the open?
Shoulders. Always been shoulders for me. I hate handstand push-ups. If a strict press comes up, you'll see my percentile plummet. I do not like a strict press. And yeah, anything that's kind of like overly grippy. So high volume toes to bars, I'm not a massive fan of. I'll do really well if it's like 8 or less in a 20-minute AMRAP. But as soon as that number starts to creep up, I start to like fatigue because of grip. So yeah, definitely shoulders and grip, probably a weakness of mine. I don't know why I'm doing a lower body strength cycle, but from actually post open, definitely on a shoulder strength cycle. So we'll do the 1 rep max strict press back into the percentile cycles for 12 weeks and see how that improves, because it needs to be done. I see Jono walking around with his big gorilla shoulders and need to work on those. And yeah, really looking forward to the open. This is year 14.
Wow.
For me. I haven't recorded online for every single one, but I have done the workouts for every single year. But yeah, my first one was 2012. Did the first ever workout of 7 minutes of burpees. It was 12.1. And you had to jump 2 hands up to a target and touch the target. And people used rings, and the ring would like swing. And you get no reps because the ring's swinging and you can't touch it anymore because it's moving around. But yeah, I think it would be a bit boring if that came up now. I think people would just opt out and go, oh, just don't fancy 7 minutes of burpees. But no, really looking forward to it. I think the fact that we've got 117 people taking part is probably the biggest open event that I've ever run in my years. So
nice.
It's really cool to see.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun with that many bodies.
Yeah, on the dance floor, so to speak.
Get the glitter ball in.
Awesome. Anything else?
Don't think so from me.
No. Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for sharing your results as well.
Very welcome.
It will be on the public realm forever. So it means you need to keep up those results.
Absolutely.
I suppose you could use it as a motivator. That time that I did a podcast and I spoke about these results, and
yeah,
make sure we keep them consistent.
Barry exposed me and told me that I need to do so many muscle ups.
Yes, exactly. But no, thank you for your time. Guys and girls listening at home, book in your in-body scans if you are due one or you've never had one. Particularly if you want to debrief the open, get that booked in ahead of time for kind of mid-March into April, as they will book up fast. And if you want to ask any questions about nutrition, personal training, or anything else that we can help you with, then speak to one of your coaches. Our next podcast is going to be about women's health and women's wellness, as it is International Women's Day in March. So we are going to make it female focused and interview a couple of our female members and coaches. So look out for the next one. Tim, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And team, see you in the next one. Press play.